Hello, my name is Sharon Morein, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my British Academy funded research about the link between ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and hoarding, or hoarding disorder. Hoarding disorder is characterized by excessive acquisition, difficulty discarding, and too much clutter. Now, many of us would relate to those things, but in the case of hoarding disorder, it's chronic, really distressing, and actually impairing their everyday life. Now, the history of hoarding disorder is a bit curious because it has only received an independent status a couple of years ago. Up until then, it was believed to be part of OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder, but it turns out most people with OCD don't have hoarding, and most people with hoarding don't have OCD. But there are a couple of mysteries with hoarding, and one is that most people coming to clinic or presenting with hoarding are older adults in their 50s and often in their 70s. But when you talk to them, it turns out that they've had hoarding since they were in their teens. And so where are all those people that are so much younger with hoarding? Another thing is that they are predominantly female. So sometimes up to 80% female. But when you do epidemiological studies, you find that the balance is much more 50-50. So where are all the males? And a clue to this can be found when you talk to people with hoarding, and it turns out they have lots of problems with inattention, organising, and procrastinating, which are very reminiscent of people who have ADHD. And so the idea of this study was to go into a cohort of people with ADHD and to look at whether or not they had hoarding. So we approached a clinic and as carefully looked at everyone there to see just what kind of characteristics of hoarding they have. And we found a really high frequency of people with hoarding compared to a control group, which were very similar but didn't have ADHD. And there was a very, very strong link between how bad somebody's hoarding symptoms were and how many problems of inattention they had. And in the future, we hope to explore this a bit further to understand whether the hoarding in people with ADHD is exactly the same as the hoarding that is presented in people with hoarding disorder, and what are the similarities and differences, so that hopefully we can understand both disorders a bit better and also offer help to those who find it distressing and impairing their everyday life. Thank you.